growing and developing an idea into a business based on your budget. Okay. Now, as I said before, you can take you can take out a business loan, you can try to get venture capital, you can look for investors, etc. You can do that, but I'm going to focus right now on your situation that you have. If perhaps you already have a full-time job where you're working and you want to take an idea and you want to grow and develop it. Okay. Now, budgeting takes a commitment. It takes some discipline. Okay. So let's just think about this. Let's start from the beginning now. Okay. And we want to find out where you are with your situation in terms of a budget. Okay. Because if you want this to work and you're not going to get a loan from somewhere else, you need to find that money available. You need that surplus in order to repurpose it, in order to focus on yourself and investment. Okay. We're spending an hour a day now working and investing in yourself and building on this idea. Okay. Now, probably the easiest way to approach this in terms of a budget is to have a single account, a single bank account where all of your transactions in and out are going to go through that one account. Now, ultimately, you're going to have other accounts. You're going to have other accounts for businesses. You can have many different accounts for business. Okay. Now, we're just going to focus on one account right now to determine where you are with your finances. Okay. Now, everyone's story, everyone's situation is different. Now, you may have an account, say that you have a job somewhere, and you have an account. Let's say that you have 100 US dollars in that account. Or let's say if maybe you have 1,000 euros, you may have 10,000 pesos. It doesn't matter. What's important is that you know from the start where you are. Now, in my experience, it's easier to have a nice round number, okay, at the start of the month. Say you have 100, 1,000, 10,000, whatever it may be. And you want everything to go through that account, okay? Now, just don't make any large purposes. Don't make any large purchases for anything, okay? Just have it your standard day-to-day. This is what your transactions look like, okay? To just get an understanding of where you are. Now, through the month, if you have that nice round number there, and if you know what it was at the beginning, you can see where you are. You can immediately look at it and see where you are in terms of your budget. Go through the transactions, the money comes in, you have your bills, etc. Everything goes through. You can apply this. It really doesn't matter, whatever the number is, okay? But now you go through those transactions and you find out where you are at the end of the month, okay? Now, ideally, from a job, a profession, whatever it is, whatever income you might have, ideally, you want at the end of the month to have about 10% of that amount left over, okay? And that'll be the amount that you can use for yourself, for your own development, if it's for retirement, if it's for building your business, etc., whatever it may be. So the money comes in, the money goes out. You have that extra money available to do something with it, to build your business. Okay. Now, at the end of the month, if you go through all those transactions, you know what that starting amount is. And if that number in the account at the end of the month is higher, it's going to be higher if you're, naturally, like if you've had discipline and you're working through the transactions, that you're very aware of costs. And if that number is higher than the number where you started, that's going to be your budget surplus, right? So you're going to have a surplus, and that will be the amount that you can apply to developing yourself, retirement, business, etc. Now, if at the end of the month that number is lower than how it was at the beginning of the month, that means you're working on a deficit. Okay. When you have a deficit, you're not going to have that money available to invest because all these things are going to cost money. Many of these things in building your business will cost money. And so it makes sense then to do your best to grow your income and minimize your expenses so you get that to a level where you're going to have extra capital. You're going to have that surplus